Okay, guys, welcome. Okay. We're gonna. This one's gonna be titled "Don't throw the good money after the bad." Don't throw the good money after the bad. You're gonna find once you realize what's happened to everyone in every developed nation. We're not picking on Americans. America is 341 million dead people. But it's every developed nation, and it's every developed nation over all of history. We keep saying, hey, where'd these people go, and where'd these people go? They get to this point in their development, and then they separate themselves from the species energies, and then all of a sudden that right hemisphere, this ancient genetic code kicks in, and this right hemisphere starts telling the left hemisphere, hey, eating chemicals is fucking great, dude. That's what's up. That shit is fire. That's what you want to do, is eat them carbohydrates, eat them chemicals, eat them antibiotics, eat those processed foods with those weird fucking ingredients that you know fucking cause cancer, but the voice says, hey, don't look it up, dude. Look it up tomorrow. We're the smart ones. We're the informed ones. We're gonna look that up. It's not right now. We're gonna do that tomorrow. We're gonna do that next week. I'm busy as fuck right now. But I'm looking up those chemicals. I'm not the stupid one. I watch John Oliver and shit. I'm informed, man. I'm not gonna fucking just gonna eat these chemical fucking Dorito shit paste squeezed into some fucking triangle form today and trust that that's okay as a food source. But tomorrow, man, I'm on it. I'm on to these people. They're trying to trick me, but it ain't gonna, right? That's what you're hearing every fucking day. This thing is trying to kill you throughout history. So beautiful. We've got the Mayans that recorded. They're saying, hey man, listen, if we don't kill a bunch of people, the sun won't come up tomorrow. Literally, the world just won't exist. If we don't kill a bunch of people today, the sun won't come up tomorrow. The world will cease to exist if we don't kill 100 of us today. How beautiful is that? When the body senses we don't have sufficient species-specific energies for the number of humans, the right hemisphere starts whispering some crazy-ass shit with a very specific goal to reduce the herd. Now, what humans keep doing to trick this isn't specific to humans. Every species has this. The thing that humans keep doing is they keep saying, man, we're super fucking fancy. Let's grow the food over there. Let's have Joe grow the food over there. He's a dumbass. I'm the smart guy. Why would I grow fucking food? Anybody can grow food. Let's have dumbass Joe grow the food over there. We're not acknowledging that there is a required system that's bringing microorganisms back to you, and a second system that's measuring the abundance of microorganisms that's returning to you. If you don't have enough microorganisms returning to you, the supply gets lower and lower and lower because they're leaving you every day. And then when you get to a certain point, the second system that's measuring the energies available, including the returning microorganisms, decides, hey, we gotta off this person. There's too many. It's not you specifically. We're just gonna reduce the number of the herd until your body senses there's enough species-specific energy here. But when we make this decision, societal decision, hey, we're just going to grow all the food over there. We might have a garden, but it's an herb garden, or it's, you know, a supplemental garden. I'm going to grow some stuff so I can point at the neighbors, point to it for the neighbors and say, look, I grow things. This is my hobby. It's just not sufficient species-specific energy for the number of the species present. And so the body is still saying, hey, there's plants out there, but that's enough food for half of one person. We got 5 motherfuckers living here full time. This is insufficient. So the body is going to reduce the herd till we hit that balance, till we hit sufficient species-specific energies. However, if they're all being grown elsewhere, we're never going to get to that number, right, guys? But the point of today is, once you realize that and you do this, your body becomes alive again. For 2 reasons. One, your body makes the decision, the prime decision, that you have the right to life. So the hemisphere, the right hemisphere, is going to start telling the left hemisphere 100% reversed information. You were trying to go to the fucking gym, your body, your right hemisphere was saying, hey, that's hard. Let's for sure do that tomorrow, but today, fuck, I got all kinds of stress. Girlfriend's a bitch. Goddamn car broke down. I was going to go work out. The goddamn car broke down. You're hearing all kinds of shit from this right half, but once you get this balance, your body makes this new decision at any age, guys. At year 1, at year 99. At any age, your body can choose right to life based on the data inside of the habitation, inside of the fence or boundary where you live. If you do that, now you're going to hear exact opposite information. Your own body is going to say, hey, motherfucker, let's wake up at 5 and go do some exercise. Your right hemisphere is now going to tell your left hemisphere, hey, let's build health equity. Now, what you're going to figure out is everybody else around you is a different thing than you. You're a living, evolving human being, and these are zombies. These are Half-Life. These are First Dead. They are living in the state of first death, is how Calhoun phrased it. We have seen this throughout history. In Rome, the aristocrats simply got bored of having sex. They simply got bored of having children and disappeared. They tried to make laws that said, hey, we'll give you tax incentives, you don't have to pay tax, you don't have to serve in the military, you don't have to do anything, and still, these people just ate and groomed themselves all day until they went extinct. Each of these there were four royal families, and each of these families, they were trying to get them to procreate, and they just stopped. Almost every Roman emperor was murdered, and they're murdering people in the Colosseums, reducing the number of the species because they weren't growing shit in their fucking yards, right, guys? Once we realize this, now what we have to do is don't throw the good money after the bad. And this sucks, but Logic, the artist, said it very well. You got to put the mask on first. In the old airplane there, if the masks drop down and you're that giver that says, oh fuck, let me help these children, you're going to pass out. Then who's going to help any goddamn buddy, right? You got to put the mask on you first if you're going to be the one that's going to help everybody else. So, you got to guard your time, guys. After you shit, shower, and shave, after you go to work, do the necessary things. for your day. Your personal day probably comes down to 30 or 40 minutes a day. Seems like a day is a long motherfucking thing, but we're sleeping off 8 of it. We're sitting in the traffic for a certain portion of it. We're working for more than we should be. I know I am. 365 days a year. I started at 4 o'clock this morning. I gotta listen to my own advice, right? You might have identified as an empath, or you're that person that says, "Hey, fuck people." But your friends, your family, if they've got a problem, you're Johnny on the spot. You're gonna go whoop somebody's ass at 2 o'clock in the goddamn morning. If your buddy goes to jail, you're gonna go in there and you're gonna bail him out. Fuck those people. I ain't a people person, but if it's mom, it's mom. You do what you gotta do. You do whatever you gotta do. You're gonna have to take a break from all that shit. You're gonna have to use that 40 minutes for this. Now, what's gonna happen with this is you're going to change, and all of a sudden your body's gonna say, "Hey dude, let's go for some exercise. Let's work on the beautiful garden." Your body is going to change. Your sexuality is going to change. Your confidence is going to change, because all of these things are manufactured by microorganisms in the tummy. Right now, you're shitting all of the microorganisms that make happiness, motivation, adrenaline, the spinal fluid your brain is sitting in that has to be changed out 100% every day. Lubrication in your joints. Thousands of chemicals that murder every single disease. We're now solving cancer by tricking the body into curing its own cancer. We're not asking the question, "Hey motherfucker, why wasn't that body already curing that cancer?" That's a choice. If the body can cure cancer and is not, how much did you do? That body had already made a prime decision to put this motherfucker in the soil. You trick it into curing one cancer, but what's it going to do? It's just going to develop another cancer. It's just going to put this body in the soil. They're curing one thing when the body, the human body, was self-diagnosing and self-repairing for millions of fucking years. These doctors want to cure one thing. If they cure the whole thing, you're going to never need a doctor again. And so the single use cure is the most profitable one. Unfortunately, anytime you make something privatized, you have instantly motivated this. This is an algorithm you have now built that does not want to cure people. It wants constantly sick people that are just well enough to be able to pay. You don't want the people to die or they can't pay, but you don't want the people to be healthy. And so you've got this American culture where everyone is anxious all of the time, everyone is sad all of the time, everyone has health problems all of the time, but they're taking insulin, and they're taking antidepressant, and they're taking antibiotic, and they're taking pills to get boners, and they're taking pills to make them thin. Because if we change the prime decision, the body would be doing all those things by itself. None of these things are causing your body to change. When we take nitric oxide, which is your body's Viagra, when we put that chemical inside of you and you get a boner, Those doctors didn't invent anything. That chemical was already there. This lifestyle has removed that chemical from you because you're shedding all of your microorganisms into a water treatment plant where they're being killed by antibiotics, chlorine, bromine, chloramine. Then that water is coming back to you with those chemicals in there. You're drinking it and killing the rest. That's why you can't get a boner. They didn't do shit. If they actually wanted to cure you, they would just say, hey, stop putting your guys that make your microorganisms that make nitric oxide into here to die, and then drinking water that kills the rest of them. Those microorganisms need to go into the soil so they can reproduce and then return to you in greater numbers. That's a good hole. So that they can return to you in greater numbers and make more boners. These doctors aren't doing jack shit. They're accidentally coming up with the chemicals that we already were manufacturing to do those things before we adapt this lifestyle and become extinct. A couple of examples. Currently, there is a young lady, beautiful, breathtaking young lady, very troubled young lady. She can't read. She really doesn't care for work, and she's now broken both legs, but she wouldn't have otherwise, most likely. She's broken both legs because she spends all of her time in the goddamn streets asking people for money and trying to wheel and deal and shit like that. So she gets into altercations about these little deals and ends up every single week having something broken, some huge gash in her arms or her legs or her scalp or some crazy shit. And she comes by the house all the time. And quite frankly, it's a curse. Every time she comes by, something goes missing. And so we're a licensed organization that's helping exactly these people, but this person is literally handicapping us from helping anybody that's legit. Our goal, our target people are people that are good 99% of the time. We've got 1,000 Haitian families that are good all the time, and then dad gets sick for 3 days. But their death line is that. It's literal hand to mouth. If dad goes to work today, we eat. Saturday and Sunday, if dad doesn't find some extra work, we just don't eat, and we've become used to not eating, but 3 days is a bit of a stretch. With weekends, you might be talking about a 5-day zero food, stretch. That affects health, that affects growth rates and shit like that. So we step in and help those guys for 3 days, and for the next 2 years, they're 100% good to go. As a matter of fact, they're probably going to help us out once or twice, and we're probably going to be at a net gain versus somebody that's just living in the streets by choice and is just coming by the office every single day saying, hey, I need money to pay for my hotel today. And we're going, you do. And you need to get a fucking job so that we can help you out when you get sick. Another of our normal routines, somebody might break a tool, have a tool stolen. We're going to be able to use solar power to weld up these tools, repair these tools, or purchase a $20 tool. And now dad gets to go to work and earn money every single day. Dad will probably even pay us back the $20. So, might even help us out around here, so we're again at a net gain. And so you sort of have to choose, who am I going to help? The young lady that I'm talking about got deported, and everybody's saying, hey, you got to help her out. She's super cute, and she walks around with half a nothing on, and so she's an extremely popular figure, but she's this huge drain and now she's gone. So we're not having this constant barrage. There's probably $1,000 worth of shit that she's stolen. She comes by and asks for stuff, but she's actively casing the place while she's not even shy about it. She's actively looking around the entire time you're interacting with her to see what can be stolen, and then that evening gets over the fence and makes literally every fucking thing has to be chained to some cement here because of this one person. So everybody's like, we gotta get her back in the country. And I'm like, well, for us, that's not automated. That's a discussion, but that's not, that's not automatic. We're like, ooh, we don't want to see her deported at all. But she's basically living the same life there as she's living here. They're saying, hey, she got beat up, and I'm going, I kind of don't think she got beat up. I think she was trying to rob somebody, and they put up a fight, and she's doing her usual thing. Here, that's all of these injuries are coming from. She's trying to steal something, and somebody pulls back on the purse, and she says, "Hey, you're beating me up." And that's typically not the case. She's the source of all of these altercations, and so she's kind of responsible for both parties' injuries. Certainly responsible for hers. I feel bad that that's happening, but you sort of have to guard yourself. Don't throw your good money after the bad. Just being that person that fucking helps. If these people are dead, they're going to cause their death, and you're saying, hey, let me just stand here close to you and assume everything will be fine. Don't make that assumption, y'all. These motherfuckers they're this is intent. That right hemisphere is using any person in their sphere, in their little group, and saying, hey, you need to retaliate. That person attacked you. That person attacked you. I told a story about a gal who, oh man, I love her to death. I see her all the time. I have 4-foot posters of her and I together living on a boat and shit like that, but we moved from a location that had abundance to a location that had 0 SSEs, and all of a sudden she started hearing a voice inside of her head tell her that she was under attack. And she eventually took boiling hot water. Mind you, she's smiling. She's having 6, 7, 8 orgasms a day. She wants to hold my hand 24 hours a day. She can't sleep without me. And then her mind concocts a story. We go to the beach, we're cracking up. No alcohol, no drugs, we never do anything like that, but we're cracking up at the beach. We come back. I'm drying out the cooler because we're going to go back to a different beach gathering later on in the day. And she's in the kitchen cracking up, but heating up boiling water at the same time. Pours boiling water down my leg. I don't know what's going on. I turn around, she's standing there, still smiling, still laughing, but her hand has boiled water and poured it down my leg. And now my foot is a roast. There's no skin. It's a great piece of meat now. I'm losing blood above the line. That's no longer a foot. That's meat and bones. That's a boiled thing. Crazy. And so somehow I get to the car, get to the hospital, and tell them, hey, I had an accident, guys. And the young lady just gets in a cab and goes, but then she's messaging me, how we were having a fight. And so I'm going, hey dude, we were cracking up, but tell me what your brain is telling you. I've seen this before. I'm a doctor. I've been a biopsychology that studies one fucking thing. Tell me what the right hemisphere is telling the left hemisphere. And she's saying, well, You don't really know. You're assuming I poured boiling water on you. And it could have been the other way around. We could have both been pouring boiling water on each other. You could have poured boiling water on me. You're assuming I poured boiling water on you. This isn't a crazy person, guys. This is somebody that I was in love with a perfect, guys, we barely spoke. We barely spoke. We were one fucking thing for 5 motherfucking years. She was in college, and so a lot of our goals had to do with her university, and she was in school for owning a hotel. So we bought an abandoned hotel because she was too shy to work at a hotel, and she was going to school to be the boss of a hotel, but she couldn't look at anybody, she couldn't talk to anybody. She just stared at the ground all the time, and if somebody talked a little bit loud or fast or something, she would literally freeze up, like that character in Rango, Beans. She'd just freeze. And I felt awful for her, but we were trying to get her through that. Unfortunately, the hotel had probably 50-ish fruit trees, apparent fruit trees, but the bugs had eaten it on the inside. So it looks like we've got all these trees that aren't doing that great. But the trees a lot of the trees in the Caribbean aren't hardwood. They grow up in 6 months' time, and they've got 20 pounds of fruit on. But if the energies go away, they're hollow, they're paper mache. You can actually, with the papaya trees, it looks like this huge hardwood tree, but you can actually slit it with your knife and bend it down. When you have them grow at a right angle, they the energies get to the fruit quicker, and they can grow bigger fruit faster. So a lot of the farmers will just cut it with a regular knife, a regular pocket knife, not a chainsaw or something. Tree this big. Cut it with a pocket knife and bend it down because it's hollow. And so we hired some neighbor kids, said, hey, we want you to take care of these trees. We got 50 trees. We don't have a lot of leaves, but all we got to do is water them and bring them back from they're infected with insects and stuff. They go out there with machetes. 50 trees gone. So we had 0 SSEs, guys. 0 species-specific energies. We thought we were going from food forest to food forest, and it just needed a little TLC. So we're walking in, and our bodies are counting 50 fucking fruit trees that need a little TLC. And then in one afternoon, these kids chopped down 50 trees, and now it's just barren. The soil is fucking like 0 fucking nutrients. Heartbreaking. We knew going in that this was going to fuck us up, but this young lady started hearing a voice that was saying we'd have to talk to the clients, and the clients basically spoke English. I speak English. She's Dominican. She'd been studying for 7 years at the time, studying English, but for a lot of people, it's difficult to string words together or to understand. It's easy to memorize words for 7 years, but you kind of choke up when you're learning a second language. Then you walk away and go, man, I feel like a dummy. I know all those words. Why'd I choke up? But so I'm talking to clients. Her voice is telling her that I'm talking to the clients because I prefer that. This was not occurring before we moved into this 0 SSE situation. And so, in that situation, you don't throw the good after the bad. I grow 50 trees over the last 5 years, and she's saying, hey, let me come back then. And I'm going, hey, yo, dude, this is cute. that we know what's going on and everything, but our bar is at roasting my foot off of my leg. We went from never having a single disagreement to all the way to, hey, let's pour boiling water down your shoe and then say you probably did it to yourself, or you probably did it to me first. That can't be our starting place. let's just start this again. So I take care of her entire family, and I send her a nice little encouraging message every single day. But I can't, you gotta guard yourself, people. You gotta guard yourself. You cannot throw good energies. Once you identify, hey, I'm not growing something here. This is just going to kill me. This is just going to kill me. You got to cut, guys. The hardest part of finding a new relationship or a new friendship, a new group of friends, for most people, is the most important part. And that's, you have to have nothing. You have to have a clean board in order to be able to make something new. If you've got crazy people in your house and you're going, hey, I know, I'm seeing it, I'm going to get rid of these people, but I got to get some more first. We've all had that girlfriend where you're like, this sex is off the charts. This is not, you can't even explain how amazing this girl is at this. However, this person only wants drama. However, I'm going to get a regular, person, functional person, but, I need to have sex until everybody needs to have sex. And so, I'm just going to have sex with her and, have this emotional separation or this plan to get a different functional girlfriend. You got 40 minutes a day. You just spent that 40 minutes on that person, guys. The hardest part is the most essential part. You're going to have to learn to be able to spend a little bit of time by yourself. People are going to text you and say, come over to the cool thing. I remember when I was chilling out with zombies in America, and they were the prettiest people, the coolest people, the tattoo artist, the owner of the coolest bar in town, inviting me to go over to do the thing, and, an hour in, they're crying, they're telling you about their inability to get relationships or get a hard-on or something you just as soon not have exposed yourself to, because they can't handle their goddamn, zombies cannot handle their goddamn liquor. They're just trying to black out. How easy is it to get this body in the ground if you're blacking out once a day? You're asking gals, hey, did you have sex yesterday? And they're like, I kind of don't know. Probably. I was blacked out for 6 or 8 hours. I'm a sexual being. I was walking around almost wearing no clothes, so the likelihood is there. It feels like I probably had sex, but I don't know. And you're like, well, that sounds pretty scary. What are you going to do tonight? And they're going, well, that's kind of what I do. There was one girl, me and my gal went to Wings at the candlelight. And there's this breathtaking waitress, and she's telling us she blacked out last night on Fireball. She said, oh man, I can't handle Fireball. And it's like I had to take out receipts to try to figure out what I did the night before. I went out to eat and shit. Well, like, did you get laid? And she's like, I don't even know. I don't, probably. And we're thinking she's relaying a story as like a, like a warning or a come to Jesus or a rock bottom kind of a thing. But then we're like, so what are you getting into tonight? We're thinking, 12-step program, church, sleep. She was like, I'm going to get some Fireball. We were like, what the fuck? She's willingly getting raped. It's just, that's scary stuff, guys. That shouldn't be a normalized thing. That gal's gonna find her way into, I could say it, we don't need to. She's gonna find her way into 1,000 dangerous situations. The more pertinent question is, did you have unprotected sex and get AIDS last night? And the true answer is, I don't know that. The likelihood is good, that I did or that I will in the next few times I do this. Did you get a DUI last night? Did you kill somebody with your car last night? Of course I don't know. You were blacked out. You obviously don't know. You had the ability, you had a vehicle, you had keys. Your body's set to end its life. The likelihood will reduce the number of the herd. How easy would that be if we give the right hemisphere a fucking 2,000-pound, 5,000-pound death machine, right, guys? Let me see how we're doing on time. All right, guys, you killed it. Don't throw your good money after your bad. I bought, probably in my lifetime, I probably bought 20 cars. Inexpensive cars, $2,000, $3,000 cars. Go to the dealership and get a car. Maybe it wasn't the most popular brand. Maybe it's got one little, smaller problem. But have somebody check this car out. Probably a 150,000 mile car, but no leaks. Starts up every time. Just a regular, what you buy your kid if you weren't rich dickheads or something like that. Just a couple $1,000 cars that they're probably going to bump into a couple of things with. I probably bought 20. My siblings, I bought more than one per. I initially worked in homeless missions. We are doing intakes of people that are just in extreme situations. They've got physical, mental health, all kinds of stuff, and so doing intakes on these people was a great learning experience. We're working with these people if they make it to, if we get them a job, they make it to work for 6 months, we buy them a couple $1,000 car. Every one of those cars, every one of those 20 or so cars was sold for crack. Every one of them. We didn't get anybody set up on a new pathway that they remained on, because we had to buy them a piece of property, planted 50 trees, put small animals on that, and then told them, hey, if you go into a city, if you go into a workplace that has none of this, when you come back home, I need you to sit in the most populated area and acknowledge these things. Oh, look at all these fucking trees. Your body's going to count the species energies again. It has to, or you're going to go back into first death. That's the only way we could have actually helped these people. All of the things that we're doing for homeless people, all of the things that we're doing for troubled teens, all the things that we're doing for addicts are shit. Shit. You're just throwing good money after bad money unless you're putting this person in this situation where the data equals the new prime decision of returning to evolvement, so that the goal of the body is not death. Getting people off of heroin whose body's still choosing to put them in the ground is not evading death. That's simply making the body choose another way. They're going to go to the meetings, they're going to smoke 1,000 cigarettes, they're going to drink 20 times the normal consumption of fucking coffee, they're going to mow down on all of these preserved, group donuts and shit like that, and they're going to give themselves 3 diseases and put themselves in the grave quicker than they would have with the fucking heroin. They're going to get on prescription heroin, so they've gone from the exact same thing to the exact same thing, but then added a chain smoking, a coffee addiction, and all these carbohydrates. But we're patting them on the back. Wow, great job! You got on the prescription heroin, whatever. You want to truly help somebody, it's this. But if you can't do this for everybody, live it. The neighbors are going to see this massive difference, and they're going to be like Wilson on that Tool Time show. Hey, what the fuck is going on over there? Why is your body suddenly producing this masculinity in its form? Why are you suddenly attracting the opposite sex? Why are you suddenly enjoying working out? Why are you suddenly stacking motherfucking cheddar like nobody's business? Other people are going to be saying, what the fuck is going on inside of your habitation over there? And so that's got to be kind of your prime mission. Now don't trip. We have to get a group of people to turn around, but then that's going to be your new group, guys. You're going to be dating, I can't describe to you how many of these females would come to our little scientific experiment, and all of a sudden their bodies would change completely. Girls that had no but love handles, just a regular American chick. The love handles, whoop, would suck in, and these huge fat asses would just drop out. And now every step they took, just bang, bang. This thing's just slapping the back of their leg. Dead breasts with male nipples would just explode, triple in size. All of a sudden they're pointing at the sky, and they've got these huge black nipples. Went from pink male nipples to female black nipples with nothing else but an exposure to species-specific energies. And now that's who you're going to, hey, everybody else around you is fucking dead. All of a sudden you've got these, the young lady that was living here started out with a body like a bullet. She came to work with me. Her body explodes, so everybody's going, wow, this is a 22-year-old person. This is sort of a late puberty that's happening to this person. And that's what the American shit brainwashing is covering up all the time, is us seeing genetic changes and applying them to some other rationale. These girls, when they come to me, their bodies explode, and if for some reason they have to go, it turns back into this masculine shit thing that won't attract the opposite sex. So most of these girls spend the rest of their times either alone or with gross dudes, because it's hard to attract guys when you've got American chick body. Just dead, bleh. No man's lips, man's ass, man's nipples, saggy dead titties. We got to inspire life in these people, and then that will be your peers. Let's make them live, guys. Let's not half-step it. If we sort of hang out with them, our body is now making different decisions. Instead of us affecting them, instead of them going up, we're going down. It's all mathematics. If you're going to that bar for that 6-hour sesh with 0 species-specific energies, You haven't convinced them of anything. Me and my gal would show up to these things, and everybody's mind's blown. They're looking at her body going, I know this person. They didn't have this body. And I'm going, yeah, I've been trying to tell you this shit for a decade. But we would be there for a half hour, 45 minutes. And then we'd Irish out of that motherfucker. Because then people will not let you go. You gotta say bye to this person. Now you have to say bye to this person. Now you have to say one more shot, one more shot, one more shot. And we're going, hey guys, we've never drank a shot in our lives. We're certainly not gonna start now. And we gotta piece it out. And the next time, whoop, just get the fuck out of there. So we were so privileged to go to all these cool jam sessions, just once in a lifetime things. In every area of society too. We weren't just accepted in the white trash genre of bars and restaurants, but it was very flattering. It was very flattering, but we'd have to just ghost it out because these parties had no species-specific energies. And so our bodies are making the other decision. This is a sliding scale, guys. Our bodies are going towards zombie, towards first death, instead of, bringing them over. So we didn't hang out for very long. Going up to get some authentic Czech Republic food, Svíčková. Ooh, yes. Give me that with some water. And now I got to get the fuck out of here. Minus the dumplings or whatever. Zero carbs. Zero carbs, zero preservatives with the glass of filtered water. Now I got to piece it out of here because I'm in bad math. I'm in bad math, y'all. You got to be careful. You got to guard your time, y'all. That's what I got to do right now. Y'all are awesome. I'm gonna do this again as soon as possible.